Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we're just a few weeks removed from when we saw the latest balance patch that saw the Demon Seed Dark Lair nerfed, and my hope, my wishes at the time was, well, they're not reworking the reward, but hopefully the deck will fall off in its competitive ability as the Dark Lair thing was going away and the quest becoming harder to complete. That yes, it's still gonna annoy people, but hopefully it won't be popular and it won't be competitive. One of those things is actually true so far, but I'm not so sure that's gonna stay the way or the same way, because things are looking really, really scary if you look at the stats. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So yeah, we saw the Demon Seed go. We're gonna go through like the history of like how egregious this card has been throughout its time since its introduction. Like it's been almost 4 years, 2021, this summer, right? United Stormwind, which Rara did a video on that whole expansion yesterday. It is still rearing its ugly head in Hearthstone to this day, at least in Wild. That yeah, they changed it so that it would take 12 damage on your turn 3 times. It's 36 health. If you're not running Renethal, that's more than your starting health. And the card, if we look at the stats, we look at the Demon Seed, it might be the best deck in the game. It might be. So if we look at take a look at the only place I can find any good stats on Wild these days is HS Guru. And they sort, this is through the past week in Wild. You can see with a nearly 20,000 game sample size, but I was saying earlier about hopefully not competitive and popular, it doesn't look like it's super popular so far because I feel like people don't know about it. But yes, 2.3% of people or decks in total, which is still a large percent, don't get me wrong, but it's not like what it was before. Before the patch was like really like what, 15-20% probably. Regardless, it is ranked with a 57.6% win rate. And I'm not going to, by the way, this video is not me saying like the Demon Seed is the only problem or a problem in Wild. I'm just fascinated by the resiliency of this card because I did not expect it. I expected it to be like 50-ish% maybe, but it's like barely missing a beat, even though Dark Lair got like completely destroyed and they had the quest line like lengthened, right? Usually the argument I get is I got before this when I was like campaigning for the Demon Seed to get nerfed when mass production was put in like months ago. Well, it's only popular, it's not even that good, and higher ranks it's terrible. So you look at the stats at Legend, it actually still the second best ranked deck. Again, same popularity rate, not like you got way more popular decks in Shadow Priest, Highlander Paladin, Libram Paladin, and I think Hostage Mage is up there. Yeah, Hostage Mage, Highlander Priest is always up there, despite the fact it sucks because people would like to play control decks. What a concept, right? But yeah, that's not really for Wild. But it gets even crazier when you take a look at top 1000 Legend. It's the best deck there. 4.2%. The popularity is going up a little bit there, and it's rated the best. Again, very limited sample sizes, but it's the only data I got to work with, and it's gotta be somewhat true that the Seed Lock, despite being nerfed and reworked with Dark Lair, is still arguably the best deck in the game. I have a lot of things I would love to improve or change in Wild, whether it's Hostage Mage replaying block a million times or Romath, whether it's just Paladin be able to do 100 damage, or Libram's cheating a billion mana, or Shadow Priest playing Void Touch dependent on when you're dead. There are of course some things I would love to change, but they don't do that, right? They try and hit the things that feel really bad, and the Demon Seed is one of those things because, well, if you're facing a slower deck, you lose, right? You gotta, if you want to beat the Demon Seed, you've got to be a really aggressive deck, kill them fast, or a combo deck that can OTK them. Other than that, you're basically screwed, right? And it kind of reflects, if you look at the meta decks themselves, what are they? They're very aggressive decks or OTK decks, right? It's basically been the way Wild's been, I feel like, ever since Stormwind launched. Before Stormwind launched, I remember the Forge the Barons mini set introduced like elemental support, and Shudderwalk Shaman came back a little bit, and there was a lot of later game decks back then. But once Stormwind happened, the quest lines happened, nothing's been the same since. You could say that about regular Hearthstone too, but Wild, absolutely. And this is crazy to me. Again, this card has been nerfed and banned, right? It got banned at one point for Wild. It's been nerfed now 3 times, and it's still arguably this problematic. And I just want to go through all the cards that have appeared in the Demon Seed decks over the years that have been nerfed either directly because of the Demon Seed or just happened to get nerfed. So these are the ones that I can come up with off the top of my head. Rune Nithlrod was in the early versions of it in Standard and Wild. This card got nerfed twice. It was pretty much egregious on its own, but the Demon Seed package certainly helped, of course. Touch of Nathrazim got nerfed. It used to heal for 4. It's still running like every deck pretty much since. It's down to 3, but again, it was trying to tame those, Demon Seed style decks at the time. Blessed Giant was at 8, and then once the Demon Seed came out, it went to 9 and then 10, and that remains that way still, and is still a really good card to this day. Moarg Artificer at a time went from 2 to 3. That was a combination of Demon Seed decks, and I believe Demon Hunter with the whole like Moarg thing. It was like combat both of those. Stealer of Souls went from 4 to 6. They came back to 4. They reworked the whole immune mechanic because of this card, and also the interaction it had with the Demon Seed in Standard led it to go to 6 mana, so it compete with like Skull or Hand of Gul'dan. I think it was Hand of Gul'dan, so they would both be 6, and you could guarantee the discard when you had 2 of these, right? So, and that was to fuel a Demon Seed deck. Dark Lair, of course, well, it started at 3 mana. Battlecry, or not Battlecry, just if you take damage, refresh 2 crystals. Got nerfed to 2 and 1 crystal. They got nerfed to 3 and 1 crystal, and now it's just a battle cry. And all of those decks basically were stemmed or came from the Demon Seed. Although I think there was just Dark Lair lock as well, which was good. But again, another consequence of the Demon Seed. And then you have the Demon Seed itself, right? This started off at 6, 7, and 8 damage on the first 3 procs, then it went to 8, 8, 8, then it went to 10, 10, 10, and now it is at 12, 12, 12. So actually, is it nerfed 4 times? I might have to rework my title I've already written. We'll see. I'm not sure. But yes, it's been nerfed a lot. And there's one thing that has never been nerfed on it, and it's the reason why it's always going to be this issue right now, is this card, the reward of giving you that infinite damage, where all self-damage effects go to your opponent's face. So you take fatigue, it goes face, you life tap, it goes face, and of course you have the big enablers right now, but there's always been enablers. We went through a myriad of them. There's always new enablers and new problems, but right now the main ones are Crystallizer, which has been around forever, where you get to basically get 5 procs for free, or if the quest has been active, it's just damage, which is great. You have Hearthstone, which is 0 mana. You get to heal everything up that you've done, so the self-damaging aspect is basically non-existent. And Mass Production, which gives you infinite fatigue damage, infinite self-damage, infinite card draw, lets you fuel everything, and all those 3 combined right now are what are fueling the Demon Seed. You could nerf those, but at the end of the day, the second a card comes out that synergizes with this crap, it is always an issue. You also have standouts like Raised Dead, has always been there, 0 mana, deal 3 to yourself, get more crystallizers. There's a ton of cards that create this thing, but at the end of the day, as long as that quest reward remains the same, this deck will always be that kind of polarizing, frustrating, horrible experience to face in Wild if you like playing anything that's not an OTK deck or very aggressive. Basically everything else, you're pretty darn screwed. And I feel like, people were pretty excited, and, they nerfed 2 cards, and we saw recent changes like Sorcerer's Apprentice, not less than 1. Radiant Elemental, not less than 1. A lot of cards just outright killed for, it's had its time. It's time to let other things do things. The Demon Seed, for whatever reason, just remains to be exempt from it. And if you're curious, if you look at the deck, you look at like the best performing deck at top 1K, this is it. XL Seed Block doesn't run a ton of different things that you would normally see. It's got tech for like Mage because of Ice Block. and some disruption, but overall, yeah, you got Ceaseless in there too, of course. You get your Giants, you take some damage, and of course, you really focus on Crystallizer, Raise Dead, and I don't know, man. I just thought it was finally time for some other toxic, degenerate crap to take over in Wild, but it does look like, at least as this keeps going, it might be just more and more of the Demon Seed plus all this other toxic, horrible crap. Wild's not very fun. What can I say? But yeah, when this remains an omnipresent force, I feel like it has no chance. And I just don't get why there's such an attachment to this Demon Seed archetype. I mean, people make videos about Stormwind ruining the game, and yet we still won't, you know, just do the thing. The Demon Seed from day one was a mistake, and it's still being a mistake, and they just won't admit it. They just won't. And until then, I don't see things, you know, changing. And I hope it doesn't pick up in popularity, but I've been watching this the past couple of weeks and it's only getting worse. Anyways, let me know what you think about all this down below. Should the Demon Seed stay as it is and all that? Like, who cares? It's Wild and you're just cringe. You don't like Stormwind. Stormwind was the best ever. And shut up. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.